Scarecrows dressed in the latest styles, with frozen smiles to chase love away. Human kindness is overflowing.
Even if you don't know who Randy Newman is, you'd probably recognize his voice and his piano playing. He's been inescapable after he wrote You've Got a Friend in Me, which is that song from the film Toy Story. He's done many more songs and soundtracks for many more films, including I Love to See You Smile, which was the opening song from Parenthood. From the 80s onwards, he's been mostly doing film music, but in the 70s, he had a moderately successful career as a singer-songwriter, creating albums of his own songs. And then back in the 60s, he was writing songs for other people. Before that, he did normal things like going to school. He grew up between LA and New Orleans. He maybe considers himself to be more from New Orleans. His style of piano playing is certainly reminiscent of that. He plays piano in a kind of jelly roll, honky tonk way that feels like the bayou with hints of soul and even gospel in it. His voice sounds like he's black, but is from Jewish descent and is about as white as he can be. He sings songs that have stories and content in them, and his satirical side has a wicked sense of humour that somehow he gets away with. I want to particularly bring out the song Short People, which is sung with affection, but describes short people as being rather horrible and hopeless. So, you know that song, the one that Tom Jones covered, that was originally a hit for Three Dog Night, Mama Told Me Not to Come? That's a 70s classic, and it was written by Randy Newman. He's had three uncles, five cousins, and one son that have been professional film or TV score composers. That's quite a family pedigree. He's released 15 studio albums, and his 30th soundtrack album was released this year as I record this, which is 2026. Hi, my name's Dan, and this is a review of the album Randy Newman by Randy Newman, which was released in 1968 and was his debut studio album. This was before his famous film work, and before this, he'd been working as a jobbing songwriter. And I can't believe that we're nearly halfway through this list, and this is the first Randy Newman album that we've had. I have heard several Randy Newman albums before. Now, before some of it just by choice, but some of it before I was doing video reviews, I had a blog that I was reviewing on that had a readership of about 5, and I came across some Randy Newman albums on there. So on this album, obvious songs that he's written. There's several songs on here that were released by other people, and some of them were covered by other people later. Now, apparently, this album sold so badly that the label started to offer free exchange to people who had copies of this album. You can send it back, and we'll give you another album of your choice for free. How am I going to describe it? Singer-songwriter with a dominant orchestral feel. There's a lot of orchestra going on here. So it sounds like what's sometimes described as Baroque pop of the 50s, maybe film songs. It kind of, the pace keeps on going fast and slow. Now, there's occasional bits of drums and kind of more slightly rocky backing, but mostly it's all orchestral. But he's a pianist, and his piano's in there quite a bit. There's quite a variety in feel of what's going on here, and quite dramatic ups and downs at times with the music. It's generally quite maudlin, and I think it's going for pathos and a melancholy. I think I've got a problem in reviewing this album. So I try and review every album as much as I can as an independent listening experience, without referring to other albums by the same act, particularly because that's what people might be doing. They might be listening to something in isolation, or they might not. I don't know. I have the problem that I know some of his later stuff quite well. And generally speaking, I feel like maybe that meant I was disappointed with this album in a couple of ways. So in one of them, he doesn't let his wicked, yeah, he doesn't let his wicked sense of humor out very much on this album. Um, Generally speaking, on other albums, he carries off the melancholy side or the kind of more sentimental side pretty well. And of course, generally, they have more of a pop rock feel to them. I don't know if that's connected. This album, it's not clear if he's attempting to be satirical. There's one track, which is David the Fat Boy, last track on the album, which may be going in that direction, maybe him letting his sense of humor out. But mostly, you could see it as being satirical, but I don't think it's meant to be just from the context of it. But for the emotional content, I think at face value, I think it misses. It just somehow doesn't seem to have a ring of truth to it. So I'm not quite sure why I say that. I feel that his singing sounds a bit like he's trying to milk it a bit too much. It's kind of slightly overly dramatic, whereas the backing is slightly under dramatic in the sense that it's not really got that feel to it. So this might just be me, I confess. So please, if you disagree with me, let me know. Or if you've got any thoughts on this, please do let me know what this is. But I think it basically misses the mark that it's trying to go for. The songwriting is musically nice. It's very Randy Newman. He has a particular approach to kind of chords and structures and stuff. But lyrically, I feel like it's a bit pedestrian generally, and I think that's maybe because I'm feeling like it's not landing. But also, I've mentioned David the Fat Boy. That track is a bit more interesting. So it's not a bad listen. As I keep saying, I don't think it quite lands the intent here. That's what I think of the album. You might think differently, or you might agree with me. I'd love to know. So please, can you let me know by leaving me a comment? But that's it from me for now.
Sit by my window and watch the rain. I hear it beating on my window pane, but it makes me so sad that no one ever hurt this bad.